Now that we have nailed the CES portion of this show, let's move right on to the E3 portion. Do you know, Jeff, I don't know if you saw it. I will fill you in. I know you were very busy slapping and what's a pinball?
Slapping.
Slapping. There you go. PS5, PlayStation 5 logo debuted out there.
So can I tell you something?
No.
That?
Nope, we got to keep moving.
This is a sign of the times, maybe?
Yeah.
That story was like our best performing CES.
Well, that's really sad.
Well, on its face, like
Yes,
the headline is good, and then when you click in, you're like, oh.
yeah.
Like I would absolutely click the thing that says PlayStation 5 logo revealed, and then click into it and be like,
Oh.
Right, it says PS5. Anyway, E3. We all know the PS5, the Microsoft Series X. This is it. This is the E3 you'd want to see new consoles debuting with their big reveals. Sony says, nah, we're good again. We're not going.
We're going to do our own thing
Yeah,
again.
that makes perfect sense.
Why does that make perfect sense to you?
Because
why ruin Christmas?
Because the internet.
Yes, it makes perfect sense, but it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah, it
take,
does.
Take away for a second the notion of like the ESA. And
Think
like
for a minute.
These like long.
Hang on, I'm imagining the world without the ESA, and I'm smiling. Okay,
Right.
yes,
wow.
go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, bottle that
It's,
up.
it's that part where Lionel
table
Hutz is
shook.
imagining the world without lawyers, and everyone's like holding hands and singing. Yes, go on.
Yes. Aside from the fact that they have these like long-term commitments from these publishers and developers and manufacturers who like commit to years at a time to the show, and the show is a driving force, and it's a big trade show. Yada yada yada.
And Phil Spencer being on the board.
Yeah, exactly. Very enthusiastic E3 Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Dude, like the fact that the internet exists and this is still a thing is kind of mind-blowing.
Yes.
Yes, as someone who sits in a hotel across the street from E3 for a week
And talks about
to
it.
watch it.
Well, no, and let's be real. Like
2
Phil
days.
Spencer, who is one of the last remaining E3, boosters. Even he watches the show from a place across
Yeah.
the street because they don't do it on the floor.
Yeah.
They do all their shit next door.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Yes, I'm with you, and I was much more understanding last year of Sony not being there because I could, you could say, hey, down year they're getting ready for new consoles, not a lot of big
They
releases.
could get away with doing it, maybe.
And then this year, it's a console release.
You're right.
And if you're not gonna do a console hype tour at E3, then that's when I say we're E3 close the book on that, because that is the thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
or E3 really leans into the community
consumer
thing, and this becomes, I don't know, like another kind of PAX thing.
Yes, I believe that's what they would want.
But they'd have to actually put in the work to make that show good for consumers, and that might seem like a lot more work than they are willing to put into it.
It has to be good for consumers, and I think if you're really going to go the PAX angle, which I think PAX has done right by this, though, PAX is getting a little long in the tooth. I still enjoy PAX.
There's also a lot of PAXs.
There's a lot of PAX, but the thing they did right by was making it accessible for developers who are smaller, that can get smaller booth space, but also compete for attention.
They got a lot of work to do.
Well, and they also build events around the show.
Yeah.
Like they have the concerts.
Yeah.
They have all sorts of things that are happening in the periphery that are not just you standing on a show floor waiting in line for stuff.
They have that
Right.
old games room. They have that board game portion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff there for fans that makes sense.
Yeah.
That feel authentic.
The ESA exists. The E3 exists for like physical people attending a physical thing.
E3.
Right? E3. So you need to make it more of that. Make it more of a thing you cannot experience remotely.
But I feel like, and this could just be my coloring of it, of PAX versus E3. I feel like PAX things don't feel like they are, that somebody called them activations, when they were planning it out.
I
right?
understand what you're saying. They definitely did.
I'll tell you right now. I saw this news and I thought it was like, okay, yes, obviously this is a bad sign for E3. It's among many other bad signs for E3
For a
over the last few
console
years.
launch,
Yes, definitely. But I was a little not ready to go as far as a lot of people were saying. Like, this is it. This is the death knell. This is the nail in the coffin. This is the end of it. That a lot of
And
people.
don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe it should be.
I am ready to say that
Okay.
now. And the reason I'm ready to say that is because I read the ESA statement about this, which is maybe just the,
you wanna read it?
the most sad, mewling fucking statement you can make about this. So
I would love for you to read it
This
out.
is the official ESA
So
response.
officially, the title of this is ESA statement on PlayStation and E3, which does not explain at all what is actually happening with PlayStation and E3.
They don't even mention.
And this statement does not go on to clarify it.
Yeah.
E3 is a signature event celebrating the video game industry and showcasing the people, brands, and innovations redefining entertainment loved by billions of people around the world. E3 2020 will be an exciting, high-energy show featuring new experiences, partners, exhibitor spaces, activations, and programming that will entertain new and veteran attendees alike. Exhibitor interest in our new activations is gaining the attention of brands that view E3 as a key opportunity to connect with video game fans worldwide. What the fuck does any of that mean?
It means you can Mountain Dew can get in there and really reach the fans. I don't know.
This is not a statement about PlayStation not being at E3. This is you meekly restating the premise of what your show is because you don't know what to say about it.
It is
Now,
it is a B2B statement. It is a statement to other brands, not to the public.
To be fair, would you want that job?
To message this?
Would you
No.
want the job to be like, well, we gotta fucking turn this car around, like, right?
Well, you can take two stances, right? You can try and do this meek thing, or you can just double down and be like,
They're gonna be here.
Microsoft's going to kill it. I don't know. Clearly, Sony has a plan. Clearly, we will hear about the PS5
when they want us to.
when they want, and they will control the message. It'll be off cycle. It will not compete in
better be in
the
New
din. They will do a West Coast, East Coast, middle of the
Yes.
country tour. They will have a big event. They will have the bells. They will do everything. It just is a weird thing. Sony not being at E3 was a big deal. They're a major platform. Sony not announcing or not announcing, but big reveal for console feels for a oldie like me feels like that's a big gut punch.
And the thing I want to add is that it's not necessarily that I think that Sony is 100% making the right decision here. I don't know. I mean, this could turn out to be a bad thing for them if like they aren't able to call attention to their platform the way that they need to. But ultimately, I think they probably will because they know how to get their messaging out in other platforms.
They have the means.
Yeah, the real thing is just that, like, if I'm any other publisher continuing to feed money into the E3 machine, last year would have given me pause, but not necessarily made me want to cancel. This, I'm looking at this and I'm going, do we actually need to do this?
Yes, this is certainly the what the hell are we even doing?
So a lot of developers don't have the platform that Sony has to get the message out. So I understand they can't just force feed that information to install bases. But
I also don't know about that. If you have enough money to come to E3 and do your whole thing, you can make a video.
You can definitely make a video, but you don't control the platform like Sony controls. I know. Sony can very easily, when you turn on your PlayStation 4, have the crossbar say big old PlayStation 5, whatever. They'll stream. They'll have their state of play. They'll have a big old thing. Yeah. They'll stream right to the PS5. They control that platform.
Yeah, I understand.
It's a captive audience for that stuff. It's. I think you're right, Alex. In a way, Abby, you tell me, E3, Sony being there or not, are you whatever? We're gonna get all the news anyway.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I didn't really care about E3 before I got this job.
Right.
I think if the information would trickle out and it wouldn't be a thing that I'd be like, oh, cool, E3, all this information came and be like, oh, cool, the information is coming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Thinking about all the cool activations you were about to see?
But your point of view is exactly it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly it, because you there's not even the legacy of it used to be a thing, and because that's, I feel like when you just said what did you say? Did you call yourself old?
Yeah.
What did you say? Oh, you just said old.
You're an old.
An oldie.
Yeah, you're an oldie. Yeah, that's what it was.
A golden oldie.
That old made up fucking word.
Yeah. All the boomers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like us.
You're holding on to some kind of legacy.
Totally.
Absolutely. Glorification.
Yes.
Here.
I want a printed book with the information from E3 in it so I can read it.
You want to
I want PR people handing me B-roll videotapes.
Yes. I want to download DLX on GameSpot so I can get all the latest trailers as soon as they come out.
Okay, here's the other thing. There's other shows that Sony went to last year.
Totally.
Like Gamescom.
Yeah.
So I'm also wondering, is there ESA?
I think E3 is very expensive.
Well, there was also some speculation going around that there might actually be some kind of current
beef
wedge between Sony in particular and the ESA as an organization.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about that, though.
My point being, regardless of conspiracy theories, they do go to other stuff.
Yeah.
is it just the expense thing that maybe
I don't
forces
know.
their
Yeah,
hand?
I don't know.
You can't deny though that E3, I guess, is still the biggest one.
I don't know.
It's not in terms of attendance.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Like, I don't know. I know for a lot of media companies, like for GameSpot and stuff, they are the biggest. They are the tentpole things. They get the most views and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Those videos, those streams, that information does very well. It traffics well, so people are out there digesting that stuff or absorbing it. But also, when Microsoft and Sony do their private press conferences, they also do very well. So.
Yeah.
Not like E3. No, E3 is still an event for a very core gamer audience, but this is really interesting. I think what we have seen in the last, I don't know, Alex, you correct me because you've been, you too, Bacalar, 5 to 7 years is leading up to E3. There are so many leaks and there are so many pre-E3 announcements anyway.
Right.
By the time we hit the stage,
it's like the 4 months before it.
yeah, by the time we hit the stage, a lot of that stuff is known. You get a couple of surprises, and when you really do get a surprise, you're shocked. You're like, wow, how'd they keep that one under wrap?
I realize I'm a trendsetter. I realize
I've always said this about you.
You've been leaking for
chose
years.
last year not to go.
Oh, I see.
People
Yeah.
saw the writing on the
I know.
wall. I saw the signs. I saw the signs.
Well, it's funny because I feel like you and Sony both kind of had this death pact where they put you in that horrible room for 3 hours, and you just called me on the phone and said, "I'm never coming to this again." And you and Sony just basically said, "Me neither." You know what?
Same. To be fair, I have not been back since.
Yeah. So you and Sony just kind of both agreed at the same point. You know what? Hey, you look Sony in the eye. Basically, the logos. Is this working for you? This isn't working for me.
Want to get in a car and just drive?
Let's just not go.
After this news, where I was 2 weeks ago 100% going to E3 2020,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe now I'm 80% going. 70.
I'm pretty sure they can't send 70% of you to the show. That would not be healthy
You'd
for
be
you.
surprised.
You should tape E3 to the goalpost and see if it breaks when you hit it with the puck.
No, they're just going to keep moving the
Is
goalposts.
it? Oh, nice.
You'd be surprised. I'm going to do this at every team in every stadium across the country.
So
I am
the
not gonna
Kings
be-
are going to go to the.
I will not be happy until all phones have been broken.
So we're going. Anybody doing a trip to Nintendo or something? I could go to
Oh,
Washington.
fuck. Winnipeg's next.
Yeah.
Shit. All right.
I could go. Who's the Washington team? The Red Wings?
The Capitals.
If you work
Okay.
for an NHL team,
Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings.
just hit me up. DM me.
Terrible.
We'll talk.